are going to start the new series of Blackmar-Diemer Gambit line after d4, d5, and e4. So I would say this is the most debuts from the standard natural point of view move, of course. When white is just given his center pawn for seems like nothing, this opening line becomes quite playable on the intermediate and even in some advanced games. I found players who are using it very successful. So let's understand what happened after d takes e4, which is the most natural continuation, of course. White cannot win this pawn immediately back. Of course, we can try and play something like, I don't know, like knight d2, but in that case the d4 pawn is not protecting anymore. Of course, white played e4 not with the idea to win this pawn immediately, and that's why we call this as a gambit line. So white is ready to sacrifice the pawn and to get the better development, so to get the advantage in the development. It's quite interesting history about this position, because more than 100 years ago, the English chess player Blackmar introduces this pawn sacrifice, but after d takes e4, he always played in this position f3, which is a pawn sacrifice after e takes f3 and knight takes f3. White is not only getting the better development of his pieces, but also white is intending to bring the bishop to the c4 square. Because of better control over the center squares, white could organize quite serious pressure over the black's position, especially after short castling. So white's rook already is going to attack over the f file. So we have two open files in the center, e and f file, and also weakest spot in the black position f7 will force black to play at some point move like e6, and in that case the bishop on c8 is locked, and so white could continue just improving and developing all his pieces towards the center squares, and then organize quite interesting attack on the king side, which we will study later on. However, this idea f3 was considered as interesting for many years, but then came quite strong response from black. So instead of simply capture on f3, black could counterattack the center instantly with e5. And this move, I would say, puts a big question mark of the whole idea of Blackmar. So let's understand what is the situation now. After d takes e5 and queen takes d1 check, king takes d1, white's king lost the castling right, so white cannot dream anymore about his attack against the black's king, and black's pieces are very easy coming into the game. It's after knight c6, black is attacking white's pawn on e5, so then bishop is coming very fast in the game. So black is doing just fantastic. After f takes e4, in case white is winning back the pawn, and knight takes e5, so only isolated pawn, and great opportunity for black to continue his development after bishop g4, long casting, so white's king has to find a safe place on the board here. So it happened just in the middle of the last century, when the idea of Blackmar was supported by quite interesting idea, interesting, I would say, move, or the moves order, which found Diemer. And in this position, after d takes e4, he decided not to play immediately, but first of all to attack the pawn after knight c3, intending knight takes e4. Definitely black can simply move in this position c6, and we reach the Caro-Kann position after knight takes e4. But of course the most natural continuation for black is to protect the pawn on e4 by knight f6. Definitely knight f6 is better than move like f5, since after f5 white would be very lucky to reach the same position of the Blackmar